afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting, amazing Propagandacast with the one, the only master of propaganda himself, Imperial Dane. Off here to a 1 vs 1 on a lost glider, where the glider is truly lost. Last I heard it was somewhere around Vancouver. In the north, it's Jove fighting for America, freedom, democracy, taking on the role here of the 2nd Armored Division, tasked with breaking through the German lines here, held in the south by Angreifen, fighting for the Oberkommand West Germany, Deutschland. Taking on the role here of the, let's just say 106th Panzer Brigade, Feldherrnhalle. We got fortifications, special operations, and elite armoured with double infantry and Jagdpanzer bulletins. Hello. With armour, urban assault, and rifle company for Jove. With triple infantry, we got a double rifle start for Jove, double full start there for Angreifen. In this regard, nothing that sort of immediately just stands out in that sense. Very much standard basic openings. Very much all according to basic meta game. Rather than heading for the fuel point there, slightly more aggressive capping order there from Jove, going for the vital points first, and then sort of, linking them up afterwards. So that's a bit interesting to note there, whereas Angreifen's capping order is a bit more conventional, as some might say. Rather than heading towards the other cutoff point there, follows moving ahead here, Angreifen is looking to probe aggressively. He's also sandbagging here in front of the entrance to the church, hoping that can sort of act as a bit of a blockade there. We shall have to see how that pays off there for Angreifen and for the 106th Panzer Brigade Feldherrnhalle. Down with the sandbags there. Sturmpanzer got the west side. More folks on the way there for Angreifen. More rifling on the way for Jove. Again, standard stuff. Tank traps here as he moves westwards towards the western victory point. Ungun full to the proving ahead. So far, we are off most 2 minutes into the game, and there's yet to be a single shot fired, but that's about to change. First shots fired here, a few seconds before the 2 minute mark. Third rifle spot on the way there. Now we got a bit more an actual engagement here. Fulton versus rear echelons. Fulton in the longer run will win it, though due to the heavy cover. It's going to be a quite protracted fight. Meaning, theoretically, we can just keep those Fultons occupied with the rear echelons. He could basically sort of overwhelm Angreifen elsewhere because, this is, in some ways, not exactly a fair fight, but again, resource-wise, it's more manpower being occupied with a small amount there. So, that could work out there theoretically for Jove. Though, of course, it actually takes advantage of it, otherwise, he's just, letting his men die. So, it can risk being pointless if he actually doesn't try and gain an advantage elsewhere. But there you go, Fulton's rifle in the centre here. And the east rifle standing about there. A bit waiting for something to happen. I imagine we'll be seeing some text run for Jove. More Fulton's Grenadiers on the way there for Angreifen. Sturmpanzer going straight for rear echelons. Going hard there. Rifleman in here occupying the house. Rear echelons will need to fall back now where the Sturmpanzers are charging in. And yeah, he's finding the sandbags are actually blocking the way, it seems. Oh, look at that. Normally I'm used to sort of bat while doing the trick, but apparently sandbags can as well, so lesson learned there. Sturmpanzers pushed back. They were unable to charge the house and clear it out. They are forced on the defensive. Double full squad here behind the fence. Not entirely sure what they're waiting for. Up here, platoon command post up for Jove. Lieutenant on the way. Very much increasingly popular in the American 1 vs 1 meta. 2 vs 2 though. Captain still seem like the more popular choice. Fulton there versus Rifleman. 4 here since they can only 4 fight on the window versus 10 men. That should theoretically work out there for Angreifen, of course, with good cover position, except a bit of a stone. It might take a bit of a while. Trot on the way there for Angreifen. Could be Battle Group headquarters, could be mechanised. He's got the infantry to make a Battle Group headquarters make sense, but we've seen plenty of people still go for mechanised. Despite that, Rifleman there flanking the house, pushing the Fultons out from it. Bit of a bad one there for Angreifen. More troops moving up here. You might want to move up into support here, while rather than just trying to secure the centre victory point, but that's just me. In the west side is open there as Jove now pushes forwards for America, freedom, democracy. Lieutenant almost done, also putting a bit of resource there, probably going to go for some fast attack into some vehicles, maybe a 50 caliber. Fulton moving eastwards, might try and flank the button, there you go. Rifleman not in a good position until he's trying to push out there. I think he was trying to pursue the rear echelons. In the south, the shooter continues here. Sturmpanzers up by the munitions point, allowing the eastern victory point to be seized, and there you go, rear echelons routed by the Fulton Grenadiers. Shootout continues here, but again, slowly being won here by Angreifen. But certainly a bit of a cost, and again does mean he's tying up a larger force there. And he got a bit of skirmish here at the sandbags prepared position here by one of the market stalls. Though in this case, Jove up close still beats them. Sandbags here, again very consistent sandbagging there going on. We got them trench on the way there for Jove. Lieutenant charging at the Fulton's going to need support there. More sandbags there considered, but in this case halted. And western fuel point is now exposed. He's going to have to move in the deal with that. He's wiring off some of the tank traps there. To the close being wiped out. Lieutenant up close calls able to do a lot of damage. He's still going for the cough at the same time. Hand grenade could be an option here for just forcing out the lieutenant fast. Battle Group headquarters up there for Angreifen, so medics and possibly a flak half-track for all we know. But there you go, got the cutoff point, denying his opponent resource at least. Of course, he's about to deny it himself. Almost got the munitions in the south. The Sturmpioniere are flanking up behind here with their Sturmgewehrs. Well, apparently not. Seems like he's less concerned about losing his fuel point there. M20 out for Jove and for Democracy. Need to add some armoured skirts.
Our supply line's cut. Germans are making a push.
MG34. Doubling up behind there. Crashing through the fences and some other nearby wooden implements. And there you go, trailing straight here for them. Panzerfaust though could be a bit of risk here for the M20. Obviously it's not going to destroy it, but still it's going to leave it a bit more vulnerable. Back here, MG34 out there for Angreifen, which I'll have to see what follow-ups with. Might go here for another Panzerfaust. Theoretically, could probably pop another pair of Panzerfaust of it and actually take it out. Then with the armoured skirts on, it is not that durable. At least it can survive 3 with the armoured skirts on, but without them, it can really only take 2. Yeah, he's going to go and try and finish it off here. The 50 is going to do some damage. Got Rifleman in there to try and block this. Obviously does not want to lose the M20 here to the Germans. And there we go, quick retreat. Angreifen's now been cut off from most of his resources and he failed to get the M20. He's going to have to do something a bit more drastic to turn this situation a bit around here. And it's going to be even worse if he lost his folks on his MG34 have to do with the charging rifle. Back here, Sturmpan is fine going for the fuel point. Very leisurely approach here. Phosphorus rifle here. MG34 is about to get flanked though. Not good, not good. Oaks into that machine gun without sufficient instant support is something that can be easily punished by a player like Jove. Yeah, I'm not entirely. Yeah, he seems to have forgotten about those riflemen here, which is not good. Rather than routing the east. Flak after away there for Angreifen. That's going to help there with all the infantry that Jove's got on the field. No doctrine yet though for either side. Got an ambulance away for Jove to provide healing for his men and possibly a fort retreat or reinforcement point. He wants to, not retreat. He can't do that. You'd need a major. But Flak after they're halfway done. Medics already done there for Angreifen as well. We got no assault rifles since most of his munitions went for Panzerfaust. Apparently there's one upgrade on the way there. One, though he needs to reinforce them fully as well. Fuel point on these being seized. He has certainly been cut off there, so that's a bit tricky here for Angreifen. And the 160th Panzer Brigade. Got the ambulance out there for Jove. 20 moving about. Will we be seeing any mines here from Jove? And we do in fact get to see some mines. That could be a problem for the Flak half-track. There you go, 251-17 on the way. Note this version is one made for the Luftwaffe Fallschirmpanzerdivision Hermann-Göring in Italy. I believe it's a workshop version. It's a bit more unique one that certainly stands out, but most were a bit more simple than that in terms of design with no sort of size that sort of drop down. Little fun fact there. And 50 cal on the way there for Jove. Good choice, of course, for all the infantry, but also the Flak half-track, if, you know, is in a good position, or else the Flak half-track will decimate it, but, you know, say in a building on a good heavy cover position, with the armor piercing rounds, it can deal with a Flak half-track, so obviously I'm grabbing a bit careful. Of course, there's also the mines, though. Well, obviously that pays off. No mines, what was that? Flak half-track, got the lieutenant standing about. In the west, heading for the fuel point again, as I'm now focusing on the center machine gun. Might want to try and back it up a bit better there. Flak half-track routing the lieutenant splendidly. Nothing further going on there. Push in the center is going very slowly. Got the M20 opening up there. Flak half-track moving away. Him got these skirmishes there as well. Back here, troops really reinforcing, but again, there should be, I think, a counter-attack there to reclaim that. And we've got the MG4 setting up here. 50 cal falling back. Lots of action going on in between both sides. There we go. It's going to use the Flak half-track to flush up the Yankees there, hammering the house with 2 centimeter high explosive firepower. Sturmpan is the minesweepers. Might actually discover the M6 anti-tank mine there. Those are about to be routed. Back here, we got a Raketenwerfer from Angreifen. Finally, counter-attack here for the fuel pump, but a bit late there. And will mean that Joe's going to get a bit more of fuel edge here over Angreifen. Certainly something to be wary of. Raketenwerfer halfway done. As for Joe, we got the bazooka and the lieutenant up to deal with the Flak half-track, and I imagine we got grenades. Are actually fitting weapon racks, but grenades is not a bad choice either. It could be quite punishing there for Angreifen to deal with under the right circumstances. I'd still like to see a doctrine though from either side, preferably both. Flak up now in westwards. We got the force launching assault mine there spotted by the Sturmpioniere. And there you go, frag grenades up for the riflemen. And hit a mine there with the M20. Flak half-track could pursue and try and take it out here. No mines laid down there. We got Lieutenant with bazooka, and he looks to be using the M20 as bait for that. Good play there. Although he pops smoke, and he's probably just going to attack round here to take out the M20. Grenade off there. Actually can do a lot of damage to the flak half, plus he's firing bazookas through the smoke as well. So Angreifen could end up losing the bazooka here, or the flak half-track, which, you know, wouldn't be quite as good. MD5 actually popped out of the church. Move on to the fuel point there. Quickly dives, tries to dive out there through the church and didn't quite pan out. Flak half-track for M20, not a good trait there for Angreifen. Not a bad one for Jove, but he was at least able to save the bazooka crew, so I mean, he didn't nearly lose as much as Angreifen did. So that was not good. Unless you're Joe, in which case that's pretty good. Fall to the bush, jump on his support, trying to deal with the rifle with already low on health. Still Angreifen fighting for the map here. We'll see what further happens. Fuel-wise, so he needs to sort of fight a bit better forward. He's sort of a bit inconsistent there, and that's certainly giving Joe a bit more resource. In fact, he's able to go for a second M20 pretty safely without necessarily harming his tech too much against Angreifen. MD-34 on the way there, so definitely wants to help deal with all of Joe's infantry, which is definitely not a bad idea. M20 almost done there though for Joe. Also very rare to see any American player go for an M20 utility car, but Joe definitely seems to be experimenting here recently with strategies and sort of different play styles, and so that's actually quite interesting to see there as well. Back here, troops in reinforcing. He might not be quite Dave, but he's certainly starting to show some flashes of Daveness. Folks moving up there quickly, especially the 5th car. We got the M20 moving in as well. Armored skirts being added there as well. Big push here by Angreifen, the lots of infantry, machine guns, plus the Sturmpioniere. Though his centre assault seems to be encountering way too much resistance, and that's going to force retreat here. MD-34, a very bold move up north here. I think that might be a bit too bold with the M20 about, to be honest. I mean, if he hadn't built another M20, that could be a much safer bet here, but like, he knows the M20's out there, so it's not really much of an excuse for him to push it so far ahead. Mortal though for Jove, bring up some actually combined arms there. That's very nice to see. Good play there by Jove. Angreifen's a bit lacking too. He's going for a flak half-track as a second one? What? That's definitely non-standard by a long shot. That is non-standard. A second flak half-track. Wow. You don't see that very often. Usually for good reasons, since flak half-track's more expensive. Where's the M20? I mean, that costs 20 fuels. I mean, obviously, while that's non-standard as well as quite a bit, it's notably cheaper than a flak half-track. I mean, for 2 M20s, you still spend less fuel than one flak half-track. I definitely feel like this is Angreifen perhaps tunnel visioning a bit much, which does tend to occasionally be one of Angreifen's weaknesses. He can tunnel vision a lot on his strategies, and, you know, not adapt very well because he refuses to give up. So we'll have to see if that's what's happening here, but it's going to be risky. It's going to be risky for sure. I mean, if he can get the second flak half-track not to immediately get destroyed, he could make it work, since a flak half-track in the right place can be a very dominating piece of weaponry, but yeah, that's definitely not something I do or I'd recommend. But then I'm not Angreifen, so, you know. Folks me up, they're getting a Panzerfaust right here for dealing with M20. Good theoretically try and maybe push away the mortar there as well, very good. Back here, troops reinforcing. Second flak half-track out there for Angreifen. 251-17. MD-34 setting out. Troops suppressed. Note that later versions of the 251-17 will actually be equipped with a much more aggressive variety of weaponry. Particularly was known as the Flak drilling, which is, as a fun fact, a series of aircraft machine guns, the ones that are no longer used from the aircraft. They basically shifted towards an anti-aircraft role, basically sort of stuffing them in, well, flak half-tracks, regular half-tracks, sort of armoured trucks and whatnot. Basically sort of just 3 aircraft machine guns, usually 15 to 20 millimeters, and just, you know, able to tear through a lot of things, in particular infantry and light vehicles. I'm a bit disappointed they never went for that one for the flak half-track rather than this particular version. Obviously, it might have been a bit harder to balance. It doesn't make sense in terms of design, but it would have looked cooler. MD-4 setting up here. Angreifen trying to use the machines that way, try and lock down Joe's movements here, alongside the flak half-track, in which case the flak half-track can sort of switch between points, allowing to react more easily to Joe's pushes. But Joe's taking up, he's got the armour, and Angreifen is, you know, not quite there. He needs to get the fuel point there in the west back and probably grab some more points as well. In the east, 50 caliber there, nicely deployed on the right flank there by Jove. Also got some smoke off there. He could of course smoke the position and rush it with his troops. I mean, he's got access to grenades, so that could be effective. Angreifen going for artillery zone, so he's also switching towards combined arms. Very nice. Not your usual Oberkommando West versus Americans fight here. There we go, grenade against the Sturm Pioneers. Is that his first grenade? I'm not entirely sure about that. Right, it isn't again. He used it against the Flak half-track. MG Fiddle horse heading up. He pushed out by the mortar. Still he's covering the eastern fuel point. He's almost got the western fuel point, and that actually puts Angreifen then, once he gets the one ahead of Jove in terms of fuel, though. Oh, it's actually currently quite close due to all the other strategic points that Jove is controlling. Fought around here by the Rifleman and a good grenade line. Going almost done in the east here. Flak half-track packing things up. Almost got the M20 here. 5th caliber moving up there in heavy cover. Sadly no barbed wire. Though it's getting suppressed, but the question is, can he? Well, he can actually deal with the flanking with the Flak half-track. But the MU-34 that's being routed in the eastern defensive position has collapsed due to Jove's good maneuvering. Then, of course, the light vehicle. Flak half-track those pinning down the 5th caliber here with heavy 2 cm flak fire. Opening up here, and we got the 5th caliber there opening up with arm pierce rounds, forcing Angreifen's Flak half to get out of there. Bases there, though they are quickly dispatched. Forcing up that bigger push here, but with the 5th caliber in the way, he's going to need artillery to dig it out, or a smoke screen. He's just going to go with a regular attack there. MG-34, oh, getting artillery called in here by the Major. Good play there by Joe. Good response to the machine gun. It's going to get a bit difficult for him to get it out, and there you go, artillery raining down there. Someone slipping out of the church window there, quite dead. Grenades, heavy flak fire there being exchanged. MG-34 them as infantry though in heavy cover. It's going to force retreat here in the west. These movements they can do for Angreifen needs to take up soon, get up the schwer punted quarters because Joe is going to be hitting Angreifen soon with armor as well. I mean, he's almost got the resources. He's also putting quite a bit of manpower, which does increasingly seem to be a habit here of Jove as of late. Like, he could be building caches, but again, he seems a bit preoccupied. Goes to the dealing with the advancing rifleman on the right flank here. Almost got the victory point. Angreifen's going to need to move in to deal with this. M20 zooming back towards the centre in the east. Pioneer advancing, going for the fuel point in the east again. And there go Angreifen going for the truck. He's still going to be quite some time away from the tank. So again, Jove is not. Got the mortar. He could steal it. Or he could salvage it. Oh, he steals it. I mean, certainly getting more artillery here could be helpful versus Jove. Might just be what Angreifen needs to sort of further slacken any edge he may have, or try to gain one. Definitely an interesting fight here on Lost Glider, since it's definitely not playing alongside, say, the usual lines of the map. There's much more action on the right flank. I mean, there's, in that sense, less of map tunnel visioning going on, which is usually a good sign. Though, interesting enough, Angreifen is still feeling a bit blind on his left, which again is usually sort of the more normal side for the wet southern player, but he's being much more aggressive on the right hand side, which is, again, very unorthodox. Joe, they're going for a replacement mortar after the one there got nabbed by the German army, which of course puts Angreifen at 2 artillery pieces, 1 light infantry gun and 1 mortar. Victory points wise, it's pretty close between the two, so in that regard, neither's getting an edge. And Jove is going for Rifle Company. Holy moly, you don't see that one very often, though I still think it's reasonably good due to the EC8. But it does lack some of the other stuff that makes some of the more other doctrines a bit more popular, like, you know, elite infantry to call in or just a really big tank. But the EC8 I still think is pretty good. Plus the white phosphorus barrage can be pretty effective as well. Flamethrowers never hurt either. But there you go, got the first EC8 on the way there for Jove and for the 2nd Armoured Division. Schwerer Panzer quarters up. He may have to go for Jagdpanzer to have a chance, and then he needs to be sort of properly supporting it. Mines, I think, would actually be an extremely good decision here by Angreifen. He's got plenty of munitions, and mines could sort of slow down any armoured advances there from Joe a bit, make it easy for the Kedmaps and whatever else he has to sort of deal with them. But EC8, they're halfway done here for Joe and for the 2nd Armoured Division. M20 is zooming straight in the MG-34, though, bypassing its arc of fire. He can't even get time to prepare and send the armoured piercing around to deal with that. And that's going to be retreated very swiftly. The Kedmap caught here by the 5th Cavalry is going to need to clear out the church there. Flak having to defend the point. We've got the Major in the way. Might want to get up some troops there to contest the point, to be honest. Instead of allowing the Americans up to neutral. And there you go. EC8 out here for Joe. 5th car being added. Mortifying the church. Steel punch being suppressed here. Got lines going fast while they're raining down the church. In fact, it's about to collapse. Major router here from the eastern fuel plant on the west. Angreifen's lines are collapsing once more due to Joe's aggression. And there you go. 5th car down to little health. Almost wiping. The church is about to collapse as well here. EC8 going down here the eastern road. And with this, of course, Angreifen should be very aware of what doctrine Jove has gone for. Panzerfaust there. But that's not going to be enough to stop the Sherman. Not even close. And go 5th car added. It's going to be more prominent here for the Volkswagen. It's going to retreat there. Got another wipe here on the mortar again. He's going to steal that one as well. With the Sturm Pony, he's going to salvage it. I mean, I won't say salvage, just so he can get more fuel for some armor out here, to be honest, still. The mortar wipes is pretty good there. He's going to salvage it, but he's not paying attention to that grenade off as well. Retreat. Good decision, at least to save that one at a decent pace. Still been able to, just throw out a bit extra fuel for that. Been very helpful there for Angreifen here. We got the EC8 moving out again. Not fully repaired, but clearly Jove isn't too worried about that at the moment. Okay, moving out him for the 4 falling back as well there. He's close to be able to call in either Panzer IV or a Jagdpanzer. He's got the manpower for both. He just needs the fuel in again. Jagdpanzer in that sense would be a bit cheaper fuel-wise. Of course, due to the terrain, it might find itself struggling a bit due to its lack of a turret. But on the other hand, better rate of fire, better penetration, better range. Could sort of compensate against that. So we'll have to see what it ends up with here for Angreifen though. Still no doctrine there. Still no doctrine. Slightly disappointed in that. You see it roaming about here. Blasting away through the Volksgrenadiers, rifling up, and then straight to line of fire the schwer planted quarters, which is my note. Angreifen's placed very safely. It covers the carve point, but always is roughly within his base. It's not something Joe can just easily walk up and destroy. So in this regard, Angreifen's clearly aware of just putting out too easily for the opponent to destroy it. Willing to sacrifice, whatever strategic convenience it might give him, like, a more defensive fuel point. Okay, we got elite troops, elite armor, and we got a Panzer IV on the way. This can help us try and use the heat rounds that was the EC8. I mean, that can work out. That'll definitely be nasty. Oh, grenade. Oh, actually didn't kill anyone. Impressive. In a slightly, right. EC8 sitting out there, roaming eastwards rapidly. We got 4 kills on it so far. Not a bad start. Not a bad start at all. Flak half-track hammering away at the lieutenant's out of the house there. Casualties rapidly cropping up there. Flak half-track close to victory 2. This one's definitely doing better than the previous one. Not a lot, but, it's not destroyed yet. I'm trying to do there with 10 kills for Victory Fleet, very good, and also pretty speedy. And he's laying down mines to catch up any German vehicles or armor. Nice little move there by Jove. He's probably hoping that at this point Angreifen might be more likely just to slip his money, just run into them. But there you go, Panzer Art here for Joe and the 160th Panzer Brigade Feldherrnhalle. Victory points wise at 359 versus 346. I mean, it's still pretty damn close between the two, even if Jove does have a resource advantage. They're going to feel like he could build some caches. Also, they're pushing back the vehicle crew on the west. Panzer IV moving up. Adding the Panzer Commander for a bit of extra range, but also access to artillery, or range line of sight, which allows you to use this range more effectively. And, artillery call-ins, which is never bad either. Also, accuracy is also really good, in particular in the Wehrmacht of the Oberkommandos Panzer IV, or the Panzer IV Model J. That is a really good upgrade, since it's already kind of accurate compared with the Wehrmacht Panzer IV, but it just becomes even more so with this, and of course then eventually too it becomes really accurate. 50 couple covering up here, again another push into these again. He's never sort of tunnel vision in just one part of the map, thankfully, though again he does at times seem to overemphasize the east. Comparatively Joe, that I feel is a bit more flexible in that sense, though at the same time he is trying to be more aggressive, so he's more willing to leave the east open, and that does seem to be something Angreifen's keen on exploiting. Artillery firing down here, American position in the centre. He's got his mortar back in action in the west, holding position at least sort of a thinly defended line, but neither player seems willing to commit to an assault there. And east grenade off here against the rifleman there, 50 cover here. IMD Fed 4 moving up, Lieutenant moving in here, got the Panzer 4 moving up support as well. Like there for nowhere near to be seen. He might want to move up the Flak after quite back on there, I guess. And the grenade off, machine gun, the dodge is a close one. EC8's going to go for the Panzer 4, need to be careful not to push his Panzer 4 too far here. That could easily end up poorly. Even with access to, heat rounds. And he shoots them, fires at the M20 and spectacularly misses, and we've forgotten the Lieutenant. Bit of awkward pathing here. Good hit there by the Panther 4 on the EC8 though. We're trying to hit them from the EC8. Bazooka fire misses due to the being suppressed here. Another hit there on the EC8. Down to half health. Heat rounds are doing quite a bit of damage there. And close to veteran 1 on the Panther 4 already. Flak half-track will still benefit here. Incendiary people not being popped. Very good. And we got another grenade here. Ah. Almost wiped there. And there you go, Lieutenant Round at Panther Force named 20. In the west, we've got another push forwards here. Fulton's moving in. Flak half-track isn't really doing a lot there. I think he's forgotten about it, to be honest, which is not good. Also, that Panther 4 needs to be... Oh, he's using the emergency repairs on it to just quickly fix it up in part. That's a nice move there. Another easy hit there for Jove. He's just pouring in more armour. We got 321 versus 301. I still feel like Jove could benefit from fuel caches. I mean, I guess there's also the argument he's trying to just preserve reserves in terms of manpower, so in case like he suffers a sudden wipe, you know, he can quickly just fill up the gaps. Which, I mean, I guess does make sense, but I feel like he could be using his resources a bit more aggressive so he doesn't need those in that sense. Rather than... Even sprint a bit, they're taking some heavy damage, small chance of wipe here, which I guess could force him to expend his manpower reserves. M20 charging in there. Might get Panzerfaust and then get hit by the Flak half-track. Oh, no. No Panzerfaust there. In fact, the M20 just hosed him down. In the centre here, Mega being torn apart by artillery and machine gun fire. 2 and 2 kills there, respectively. 1 kill on Jove's mortar. Second EC8 out. Angreifen's going to need more firepower. Again, I feel like increasingly he wants the Yak Pans out. Flak half needs to get away though. Pop smoke. Smoke. Shies it. There we go. A bit late though. Heat rounds pop there. Flak half track went down. Veteran 1 getting the Panther 4 EC at the half page. Veteran 2 already. Anti-tank round grenade there. That's bad news for the Panther 4. Should have been more careful there. We got the other EC moving in as well. Veteran 2 gain there. Nice against infantry, but right now in a tank-on-tank engagement, that Veteran 2 is not going to do him any good. There you go. Panther 4 down. Should have had it properly supported there. Always something to keep in mind there. Comparatively, Jove had infantry nearby, and that proved to be, you know, quite decisive. They pretty much prevented Angreifen just combat blitzing out with his Panther 4. So, good play there by Jove. Angreifen there. Extending his tanks without support and got punished for it rightfully. Back here, troops reinforcing. A Fultsko sending out there for Angreifen, and in the west field, they're being hit again by Jove. Silly pieces nearby. 5 kills on the mortar, that's not bad at all. But he kind of needs more than not bad at all right now versus Jove. He needs a bit more than not bad at all. Well, he can go for another Panther 4, he can go for another Yak Panther. Well, he can go for a Yak Panther 4 in the first place. We shall have 2 bids. I mean, there's also the option of Panther, which might actually be the better choice versus the 88, since again they do have good penetration and other bits there, which makes the Panther 4, even with the heat rounds, not necessarily too favoured. So I'm not entirely sure really if the Panther 4 is the increasingly best choice. I mean, he's up against 2 EC8s, and that regard 1 Panther 4 is definitely outgunned severely. So either Panther, which can just absorb the hits much better, or Yak Panther, which can sort of stay at a safer distance, I think is more optimal here for Angreifen. The only option I could see sort of making sense even remotely logically is because, you know, technically Panthers and Yak Panthers are not access to heat rounds. I mean, you know, it might be, you know, he's doing it for that reason, you know, historical reasons or whatever this are. Order there, but anyways. He's definitely going to need more anti-tank firepower. 1 like KNF and 1 Panther 4 is not going to cut it increasingly versus Jove, who's just building up a larger and larger armoured force. We got more armoured skirts, and there we go, finally cash up, munitions cache in this case for Jove, probably help lay down mines. In fact, we got 2 munitions caches up, so that's a lot more munitions out than Angreifen. Vehicle there backed up on M20, the vehicle they drove before they were banished from it. 21 killed on that M20. Jove's definitely showing you how much you can actually get out of those M20s if you handle them well. I mean, thumbs up there. EC hit Veteran 2 by pushing back the Sturm Pioneers on the left flank. Joining up with the second EC8. Panther 4 engaging, Pillmarks being added. Raven there taking staggering casualties to the Panther 4. And the supporting infantry in the west up. Big push here, need to get like Kedmev already, but it's moving up. Line for no crew is probably dead in the water there. No chance of getting out. Big crew there could maybe go down. Quick hit there. Note of course both these hits by the veterans are 1. Meaning they boost each other in terms of rate of fire, which is actually really bad news for the Panther 4, already down to half health here. I was a bit surprised they didn't try to pop that vehicle with a bazooka into it. I know them to just get it a bit more experience faster. So we called in the machine gun position in the west. Good work there by Jove. Good use of the Major. Good use of abilities in general. And we got a fuel cache up. He just provide Jove with more resources for tanks. And just allow him to push out more EC8s. Very good. Angreifen meanwhile is just struggling to keep up pace here. Against Jove's armoured fist. Western fuel plant being hit by Jove with a Major. Very good. Big 2 points. Why is this still surprisingly close? But Angreifen is struggling with keeping his tanks alive, which is proving to be quite crucial here, as Joe on the end is having no issues with that and is starting to build up a sizable armoured fleet. Another academy over there for Jove. Not Joe, Angreifen. Almost got the Major there, and down he goes. A tiny win there for Angreifen in a sea of slight misfortune. Getting the weapon out in the open, hammering down the machine guns, hosing down those Yankees. Almost got a wipe again. The Oberkommandos Panzer IV Model J is really good. I really cannot stress enough how good it is versus infantry compared with the Wehrmacht Panzer IV. Or the regular one. I mean, you can get it now with some Secret Service as well, so I mean, you know, it's pretty good there as well. I'm surprised at how few people are actually trying to use it. And you've heard from me up with the Rifle defending, he's going to probably need the Panzer IV up there. Mortar moving in there. 6 kills. And another EC8 here for Jove. Things are not going to get easier for Angreifen, that's for sure. Rifle standing about here, we got 258 versus 297. EC8 going straight here for the Panzer IV, and of course working together. Again, they get that radio network bonus, which is really bad news for the Panzer IV. There goes shot bounce, a bit of light there. Got Kenner coming up. Second one is nearby inbound as well. There we go. Panzer IV down to health already. Needs the combat blitz. EC8's the pursuing, and that could be the distraction. There you go. Panzer IV down. And with that, Jove now has 3 EC8s out in the field, and Angreifen has no Panzers. He's got 2 by Kettenwerfers, and that's it. Mortar crew finally put down there by Jove's lieutenant in the east. Taking care of that little beast. EC8 in fact is close to veteran 3 in the ace level, which is definitely bad news. In particular, since on top of the veteran 1 bonus, which just increase the rate of fire as they're getting more tanks together. You also get the veteran 2 and veteran 3 bonus, which just further increases rate of fire. So an ace level EC8 has a disastrously high rate of fire for any German armour. So I mean, right now Angreifen's situation is looking particularly bleak. And the question is, of course, if maybe Jagdpanzer just wouldn't have done the job better. Again, high rate of fire, combine it with the heat rounds, you probably could have damaged these hits much better and stayed at a safer distance, because the Panzer IV tragically does not have much of an armor bonus versus these hits to get into the high penetration. So I mean, up close you're just going to lose out there, because these hits also have a bit more health than a Panzer IV. So even with the heat rounds, you're just kind of fighting a slightly lopsided fight there using Panzer IVs. And this association game, we kind of want like Jagdpanzers. With the Wehrmacht, you want Stugs. There you go. EC8 platoon engaging, Angreifen retreating. Volksgrenadiers, his forces are starting to like finally crumble entirely. I mean, he's been always able to keep up reasonably with Jove, despite everything else, but by now it's just sort of tumbling apart. It's like a dam that's broken, and finally it's just all pouring through, all of the democracy, freedom, and corporate interests. Lychennas there being hammered. Bombarding Lychennas there with high explosive shells, and of course 50 caliber fire and 30 caliber fire. Lychennas are desperate trying to get away, but they could very well go down here. Machine gun also getting hosed with dangerous fun. He's fun laying down mines. I just feel like it's too late. Had Angreifen laid down more mines, he probably could have tripped up the EC8s, which was quite helpful there for him. So I feel like a bit too little too late in this case with the mines. Too little too late. Yeah, by this point it seems like Angreifen's forces have utterly collapsed in the face of Jove. And the Freedom Brigade. Of course, they're getting shredded by the 5th Calibers there, mounted on top of them. He got some cannon fire there, but at this point it doesn't really matter. I mean, Angreifen down to 210 points, but his forces are being decimated. He's got no way of calling in armor now. He could try the Sturmtiger, but honestly I don't think that's going to work out versus triple EC8s, in particular one that is ace level. And that's just bad news. King Tiger is definitely not on the possible plans there either. So, I mean, at this point, Angreifen is just collapsing like a house of cards in California. Okay, I'm trying to go. We got the M20 utility car there, already taking out 132 kills on it, by the way. Again, he's really been doing outstanding work with the M20 utility car there. Outstanding work. 33 kills, and there you go. Game over there. Angreifen drops out. A victory for Joe, a victory for America, freedom, democracy. Certainly highlighting again how just much fuller utility the M20 utility car is. Even if it didn't take out any vehicles with the mines, its speed and just maneuverability just gives it quite a bit of flexibility versus the enemy. Plus, the E6 were proven to be quite crucial there. So, I mean, good maneuvering there by Joe in the end. Angreifen, I feel like, made a few mistakes, a few miscalculations. In particular, I feel like the Panzer IVs were not quite the right call. And there was also a definite lag of mines, I think, was also counterproductive there for Angreifen here versus Jove. So, there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell friends, tell your family. But don't tell your enemies. And like the mighty Propagandacast, wish to support it, wish to, see keep doing what it does. Do feel free to donate. I'll pledge on Patreon. Every donation, every dollar helps me keep making more glorious Company 2 content. So feel free to do that. I'm off for now, though. I'll be back tomorrow with more exciting stuff. You're all a wonderful audience. I hope to see you all again tomorrow again. Bye.